And then you were kind of dabbling with crypto at this time.
Yeah, so I mean, back then, I guess a year ago, I was buying a lot of Bitcoin, a lot of Ethereum, and obviously the last couple of days it's been just terrible crashes and stuff like that. But around November, I started getting really into NFTs and understanding that industry,
Mhm.
and so I threw almost $1 million into NFTs, and it's just something that I've believed in the moment I understood the technology,
Yeah.
and when I started to look at what NFTs are going to do in the realm of real estate, I was like, holy crap, like this is literally going to change the world of real estate and how we transact, how we fund, how we borrow money, how we syndicate, like all these ways, it is going to change it. And I mean, it's not going to happen overnight. It's
Mhm.
something that's going to happen here, I would guess in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got to go all in on this. And so, I bought a bunch of NFTs that put me in these groups so I could learn how these communities worked and how it is, buying NFTs and picking them out and all this stuff. And it's giving me a lot of good feedback and experiences for launching my own, which is coming out here in the next couple of months called Tykes.
Yep.
So Tykes is short for Digital Tycoon. Essentially, we are just trying to become the next tycoons. If you look in real estate today, the old school term was you're a tycoon if you own a lot of real estate.
Yeah, it's that or a land baron.
Yeah, and it's like, man, the Wall Street is what is really the only tycoons today. These guys have all the real estate. And I just look at this opportunity of digital real estate, which, I'm calling anything to do with crypto, Web3, and real estate. It could be buying land in the metaverse. It could be, all these applications I'm talking about in real world real estate with blockchain. And, it's just this unique opportunity in time where you can literally become like this next wave of digital tycoons that it's such an important moment in history that people have. And like people talk about it all the time. They're like, man, I wish I got in on Bitcoin, whatever price, right? And it was like, dude, Bitcoin not long ago was, less than $500.
Yeah. Well, I remember like my brother was telling me like you should buy some Bitcoin. I was like, what is this thing? It's like $500 for what? No,
Yeah.
I'm not buying that.
Right. And so we're at that point, and it might be we're at the point in digital real estate where Bitcoin's like $10.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how I see it. And I just see this enormous opportunity where there's going to be so much wealth made in this space that people just don't really understand it yet, which is fine.
Yeah.
And, for me, Tykes is a project where we're not only going to be bringing together all the people who are interested in digital real estate and creating masterminds and real life events and these, other cool things, which can't really talk too much about yet, but also showcasing what's possible with digital real estate and applications. So, we're going to be letting people stake their Tyke, meaning that they can lock it up kind of like you would lock up money in a bond.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to produce a cryptocurrency we're creating called Tycoin. And with that Tycoin, it's basically going to be the currency for the entire system that, or the entire ecosystem with Tykes. You'll be able to buy the trainings with that coin. You'll be able to buy tickets to this events. You're going to be able to potentially buy into what I'm calling a Tyke share, which has never been done before. Essentially, the first Tyke share is going to be in Las Vegas. It's kind of like a hybrid between a timeshare and an Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I bought this $1.5 million home, all my own money. Like, I'm basically gifting it to the Tykes community to go stay in. And basically, they'll use their Tycoin to go stay there. And it's like kind of like a timeshare, like I'm saying. Like, they'll have the rights to stay on those dates at that house.
You know what I'm noticing right now?
Yeah.
Right. I've learned this space. Obviously, you've done really well in learning this space. I try to explain what I'm doing here, and everyone's like, well, slow down. That doesn't make sense. That hurts my head, right? I've noticed that not only have you learned this, you've talked about it so well that you can speak it in a way that makes sense to people.
Yeah, I'm trying to simplify it, I'm actually speaking at All in Freedom tomorrow about this concept. And my vision is if I can educate people on what's to come, like there's going to be people who say it's stupid, it's not going to happen, and there's going to be people who really buy into it, and they're going to be digital tycoons. Like that's the gist of it. Like you buy in and you understand what's happening. If you can't lose if you buy Bitcoin at $500, like back then. In the interim, yeah, sure, it's going to be volatile, and that's what it is.
Ups and downs.
At the end of the day, 5 years from now, I can promise you digital real estate is going to be a multi-trillion-dollar industry.
Yeah. So we're in a collective genius together, and I get a chance to be in the room when you're explaining your vision of like the roadmap of where this can all go. And unfortunately, you won the belt again. I didn't really enjoy that part.
By the way, I've never lost.
So 3-0, whatever. Anyway, can you share a little bit of what you're talking about as far as applications? Because you really blew some people's minds.
Yeah. So, man, how much time we got, dude? I could talk about this for days.
I got an appointment at 5:30, so we got an hour.
All right. So, I tried to kind of speed through what Tykes was because, I didn't know how many things we were going to talk about. But, okay, like digital real estate. Let's talk about this. As far as how people perceive it today, they would be thinking that it's about metaverse, right? And metaverse is just one piece of digital real estate, right? You guys probably might if you're in crypto at all, you might have seen like the Bored Ape Yacht Club just sold plots of land in their upcoming metaverse.
Yeah,
it was the largest like NFT drop ever. It sold over $300 million worth of land. Absolutely insane. And there's other ones like Decentraland and Sandbox and these things, right? And the way that they are right now is kind of a mix of like The Sims, Fortnite, like you can go in there, you can run around, you can, do things. They're very much in the like first inning of what they're going to be. The ninth inning, in my opinion, or not even the ninth, but maybe like the fifth inning, probably looks a lot like Ready Player One. If you guys have seen that movie, right? Like people are going into the metaverse, they're hanging out, they're doing things, they're working. And I see that happening for sure at some point. I don't know how many years away that is, but whatever. The eighth and ninth inning maybe look like what Elon Musk is trying to do with Neuralink, where you instantly can just tap into the metaverse and that's how it goes, right? So if you understand that with that framework, as far as it goes to real estate investing and this metaverse land, you don't really need to think of it other than how we invest in commercial real estate today. Because, there are plots of land and they each have their own value, similar to how we look at land today. How big is the land? What's it near? What metaverse is it in, right? AKA what city? It's very similar in that way of like, okay, what is the value of this thing?
Yeah.
Now, as far as how do you make money on it? Like that's the first question. Well, just like commercial real estate, you can do whatever you want. You could lease the land to somebody else. I could go throw a billboard on the land and have it be an advertisement. I could go lease the land to somebody else. I could lease a billboard. I could develop it into a giant building where, I sell stuff inside of it. I could develop it into, a club where people go and attend, like whatever. Like I can make it a gaming, a casino. The possibilities of what you're going to be able to do with the land are like literally limitless because it's just code. You can code whatever you want on the land. And
whatever you can imagine.
Yeah. And so, at the end of the day, if people are going to be there, that land will have value and it's going to have value based on the same principles that real estate has value in the real world. Now, a lot of people will say, well, what makes it valuable? Anyone can go create metaverse land. It's infinite. And it's somewhat true, but like the example I always use is like in the real world right now, land is pretty infinite. Only 10% of the land in the world is actually used. Okay. So there's a reason, I live in Vegas, you live in Phoenix. There's all this land in between Vegas and Phoenix, and it's literally like worthless.
It's just desert.
It's just desert because nobody's there.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be a bunch of metaverses that are made in the interim, but nobody will be there because there's only so many people who are going to participate in the metaverse.
Right.
Just like social media, right? There's a bunch of social medias that have happened, but there's only the ones that people participate in that people go to. There's network effect.
My MySpace account's still doing really well.
Yeah, your MySpace is killing it because no one's there, right? So at the end of the day, There will be metaverses that try, but then there's just going to be the ones that actually have all of the people. Like Google, right? Like everyone uses Google to search something. They develop a monopoly, and there's going to be metaverses that end up being kind of the monopolies.
Is Pinedaverse going to be a thing?
Dude, it just might be. Tykesverse, you never know, dude.
Yeah.